go right. Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you hashtag go right for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to hashtag Go Right for America. Join us at GoRightNews.com. It is time for the great American revival, and it is time to hashtag Go Right for America. Is Mexico a partner or a threat to America? Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
This isn't fiction. This is America's border, and the flood is real. The silence, deafening. So now we ask, is Mexico a partner or a threat? Every night there's a shadow near the gate. Footprints in the dirt, yeah, it's too late. Families crying, fences torn, this ain't new. It's been a storm, backpacks full, some carry more, weapons hiding at our door. Through Mexico, they make their play, and what does our neighbor say? Close the gate, fix the holes, no more lies, take control. Is it peace or invasion? Truth or persuasion? Partner or threat? We won't forget. This ain't compassion, it's destruction in fashion. We won't stay blind, it's action time. Reagan born, Trump built the wall. Still the flood comes, we see it all. Fentanyl's poison, the streets cry out. And Mexico's hell filled with doubt. Neighbors silent, turning away. Or maybe they're showing us the way. Not with friendship, but with the tide. As our people run and hide. Picture a house on the edge of a line. Every night, uninvited cross that line. And the neighbor, he shrugs, he helps. So I ask you again, when does silence become betrayal?
Is it peace or invasion? Truth or persuasion? Partner or threat? We won't forget. This ain't compassion, it's destruction in fashion. We won't stay blind, it's action time. Partner or threat? We won't forget. This is invasion, time for salvation.
Hi folks, my name is Peter Boykin, and this is hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Today we're going to talk about Is Mexico a partner or a threat to America? As America faces an unprecedented crisis at the southern border, the question must be asked. Is this a peaceful migration or a coordinated invasion? From Reagan to Trump, presidents have tried to secure the border. So why does it feel now like we're losing control? This isn't science fiction. These aliens are real, and they're not from Mars. They're crossing through Mexico. Is Mexico a partner in border security or complicit in America's decline? As cartels tighten their grip and fentanyl floods our streets, is Mexico failing its duty, or worse, enabling a silent invasion? This passionate monologue from Peter Boykin, myself, of #GoRight, exposes the truth few are willing to face, lays out the real facts, and calls for decisive action to protect our constitutional republic. The story behind the mic. Picture this. A family lives in a peaceful home along a quiet stretch of land. Every morning they wake up to new footprints in the dirt, fences cut open, strange voices in the night. The kids no longer play outside alone. Their dog barks endlessly at shadows. Strangers roam through their backyard like a public highway, uninvited, unchecked, and unbothered. Some are just passing through, others are not. Some carry backpacks, others carry weapons. The air of safety, gone. The family pleads with their neighbor, the one who promised to help. Please, this is your side of the fence. Close the gate, fix the holes, protect us. But the neighbor, he shrugs. He looks the other way. Sometimes he even helps them sneak in. At what point does ignorance become negligence? At what point does silence become betrayal? How long before the family realizes they're not being protected? They're being sacrificed. This isn't just a made-up tale for dramatic effect. This is America's reality. This is what's happening along our southern border. I'm Peter Boykin, and this is #GoRight. While the mainstream media distracts you with catchy Cinco de Mayo jingles, rainbow-colored piñatas, and a politically correct parade of denial, they're hoping you won't notice the flood at our doorstep. But I see it. You see it. Patriots see it. This is not immigration. This is not compassion. This is not sustainable. This is an invasion. And it's not coming from outer space. It's coming through Mexico. And the silence from our so-called ally is no longer just frustrating. It's complacent. So the question we must now ask loudly and unapologetically, is Mexico truly our partner, or are they the Trojan horse? It's time to face the facts.
Is it peace or invasion? Truth or persuasion? Partner or threat? We won't forget. This ain't compassion, it's destruction and fashion. We won't stay blind, it's action time. Reagan warned, Trump built the wall. Still the flood comes, we see it all. Fentanyl's poison, the streets cry out. And Mexico's help, filled with doubt. Neighbor silent, turning away. Or maybe they're showing us the way. Not with friendship, but with the tide, as our people run and hide.
Picture a house on the edge of a line. Every night, the uninvited cross that line. And the neighbor, he shrugs, he helps. So I ask you again, When does silence become betrayal?
Is it peace or invasion? Truth or persuasion? Partner or threat? We won't forget. This ain't compassion, it's destruction in fashion. We won't stay blind, it's action time. This is invasion. Time for salvation.
Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin from #GoRight. Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you #GoRight for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to #GoRight for America. Join us at GoRightNews.com. It is time for the Great American Revival, and it is time to #GoRight for America. National security and border crisis.
They cross in the dark with the cash and the steel, flooding our streets. It's a fentanyl deal. MS-13 hiding in the stream. This ain't immigration, this is a scheme. 7 million gone past the line, more than LA. Let that number shine. And what does Mexico do? Stand back, deny, and let the poison through.
Never mind the chaos, never mind the war.
They let the killers knock on our door. Is this a neighbor or an enemy line? While our people die, they're doing just fine. You say never, then it's on us to end this nightmare, break the trust.
Cartels rule, cities burn, Mexican lawmen never return. Firepower flows like desert wind, while our kids die from what they send in. China makes it, they traffic it through. Lab coat killers with a red blue hue. And what does Sheen Bum say? Never accept while death finds its prey. This isn't migration, it's infiltration. Dirty action and negotiation. When a neighbor lets murderers cross your lawn. This isn't a humanitarian trust. Strike down security emergency.
They won't stop it, so we must strike the ground, regain the trust. Borderline betrayal, cartel stain. We bring the thunder, they feel the pain.
National security and border crisis. If Mexico won't handle the cartels, America must. Let's be brutally honest. The Mexican government is either unwilling, unable, or most dangerously complicit in failing to stop the ruthless drug cartels that have effectively become shadow governments in multiple regions of their country. These cartels don't just traffic narcotics, they traffic in death, terror, and chaos. And that chaos doesn't stop at the border. It spills directly into our streets. The images we see of migrant caravans walking towards the U.S. aren't just about poor families seeking opportunity. That's only part of the truth, the more palatable part. Embedded within these caravans are criminals, MS-13 gang members, convicted felons, drug mules, and human traffickers. They're not coming to build the American dream. They're coming to exploit it. This is not immigration. This is infiltration. This is an invasion. Now let's talk facts, not feelings. According to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, over 7 million illegal crossings have taken place since Joe Biden took office. That's more than the population of Los Angeles. Let that number sink in. These aren't just statistics. These are lives. These are threats. And behind the curtain of this chaos are powerful Mexican drug cartels, flush with cash, firepower, and influence. These cartels move fentanyl, a synthetic opioid so deadly that just 2 milligrams can kill. And where is the most of it coming from? Directly across the southern border, either smuggled by cartels or passed along with the help of China through Mexico's trafficking pipelines. In 2023 alone, over 105,000 Americans died from drug overdoses, the majority linked to fentanyl. That's more than the combined U.S. deaths in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan in 1 year. And what is the Mexican government doing? When President Donald Trump had the backbone to confront this crisis head on, he offered military assistance to help Mexico destroy the cartels. He treated it like a war, because it is a war. But Mexico's new president, Claudia Sheinbaum, arrogantly rebuffed the offer. She said Mexico would, quote, never accept U.S. troops on their soil. Never? Never mind the cartels literally outgunning Mexican police. Never mind the drug lords who post execution videos and burn entire towns. Never mind the fact that Mexico has become the primary funnel for the deadliest drug epidemic in American history. When America says, quote, let us help you eliminate this cancer, Mexico says, mind your business. Meanwhile, Americans keep dying. The CDC isn't speculating. This isn't political fiction. This is data. These are our sons and daughters, friends and neighbors, lost to a poison that originates in laboratories south of our border and is shipped, smuggled, and sold to people Mexico refuses to confront. This isn't a humanitarian crisis. This is a national security emergency. And if Mexico won't take action, America must, with or without their permission. Because when a neighbor allows murderers to cross your lawn, it's no longer a neighborly dispute. It's an act of betrayal. Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. to go right.
If Mexico won't take action, America will. They cross in the dark with the cash and the steel, flooding our streets. It's a fentanyl deal. MS-13 hiding in the stream. This ain't immigration, this is a scheme. 7 million gone past the line. More than LA, let that number shine. And what does Mexico do? Stand back, deny, and let the poison through.
Never mind the chaos, never mind the war. They let the killers knock on our door.
Is this a neighbor or an enemy line? While our people die, they're doing just fine. You say never, then it's on us to end this nightmare. Break the trust.
Cartels rule, cities burn.
Mexican lawmen never return. Firepower flows like desert wind. While our kids die from what they send in. China makes it, they traffic it through. Lab coat killers with the red blue hue. And what does she and bomb say? Never accept while death finds its prey.
This isn't migration, it's infiltration. We need action, not negotiation.
When a neighbor lets murderers cross your lawn, it's betrayal. This isn't a humanitarian crisis. This is a national security emergency.
They won't stop it, so we must strike the ground, regain the trust. Borderline betrayal, cartel stain. We bring the thunder, they feel the pain. Is this a neighbor or an enemy line? While our people die, they're doing just fine. You say never, then it's on us to end this nightmare. Break the trust. If Mexico won't take action, America will.
Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin from #GoRight. Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you #GoRight for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to #GoRight for America. Join us at GoRightNews.com. It is time for the Facts not fiction. Mexico's refusal and cartel control.
Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame.
Cartels control from the ground to the sky. Military-grade weapons and the people die. Judges are bribed, witnesses disappear. Politicians killed, but no one will steer. Guns, drones, tunnels, and lies. Mexico's inaction is the price of lives. We've been diplomatic, but now it's clear we can't wait. America's safety is near.
It's no longer a game of diplomacy. This isn't petty crime, it's a symmetric strategy. Cartels run the show, they think they're untouchable, but Mexico's complacency is just as punishable. Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame.
The cartels are an army. Mexico, you can't just sit by. Our sovereignty's at stake. We won't wait, we won't lie. America stands strong. We'll defend or we'll die.
Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame. Mexico, you've chosen your side, but we stand with America. We'll fight this tide. Our sovereignty's at risk, and we'll take a stand until the cartels fall. We'll reclaim this land.
Facts not fiction. Mexico's refusal and cartel control. President Claudia Sheinbaum may stand at a podium and declare with pride that Mexico's sovereignty is inalienable, but that sovereignty suddenly becomes suspiciously negotiable when migrants by the tens of thousands flood through the southern states of Chiapas and Oaxaca, cross Mexico's entire length unchecked, and arrive at the doorstep of America's border, demanding entry. So if sovereignty matters so much, why has Mexico become a superhighway for illegal crossings? President Sheinbaum says Mexico is, quote, open to sharing information, but draws the line at allowing U.S. troops to fight the cartels directly. Now let's be clear, intelligence sharing without enforcement is like handing someone a fire extinguisher with no pin. It's symbolic at best and suicidal at worst. Now here's the hard truth. The US CIA is already flying surveillance drones deep into Mexican territory. These missions pinpoint cartel superlabs, industrial scale narcotics factories, capable of churning out metric tons of meth and fentanyl pills disguised as prescription medications. The intelligence is then shared with Mexican authorities. Now what happens next? Sometimes they act, sometimes they delay, and sometimes nothing happens at all. And it's no mystery why. Mexico's law enforcement and judicial systems have been ridiculed with corruption for decades. Judges are bribed, witnesses disappear, and officials who try to stand up to the cartels are assassinated, publicly and brutally. We've seen governors executed, police commanders beheaded, and journalists slaughtered for telling the truth. Even Mexico's own former Secretary of Public Security, Genaro Garcia Luna, was convicted in the U.S. in 2023 for taking millions in bribes from the Sinaloa cartel while serving in office. That's not a flaw in the system, that is the system.
Felipe de Jesus Gallo, head of Mexico's Criminal Investigation Agency, admitted that what Washington already knows. These cartels aren't street gangs. They are multinational, militarized narco empires. They operate with precision, hierarchy, and access to military-grade weapons, armored vehicles, satellite tech, and even drone warfare capabilities. They've built sophisticated underground tunnels beneath the U.S.-Mexico border, some stretching over a mile, complete with electric lighting, ventilation, and rail systems. This isn't petty crime. This is asymmetric warfare. They export meth to Asia, fentanyl to the U.S., and weapons across Latin America, using the same logistics strategies as global corporations. These are not just criminal organizations. They are paramilitary terror networks, and Mexico has allowed them to flourish. It's time for the U.S. to treat them as such. Calling cartels, quote, criminal groups is outdated and dangerous. Their operations mirror ISIS and Hezbollah, and their actions have resulted in more American deaths than 9/11 every year. Yet we still play diplomatic games and pretend that Mexico is a reliable partner. Mexico has become a narco state with a democratic face, and we cannot keep pretending otherwise. Until the cartels are dismantled and until the Mexican government stops giving them safe harbor through inaction, the United States must defend its people with or without Mexico's blessing. Our sovereignty depends on it. If you'd like to learn more about this article, it's called, Is Mexico a Partner or a Threat to America? And you can check this out on GoRightNews.com. Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame. We'll put you to shame. Cartels control from the ground to the sky. Military grade weapons and the people die. Judges are bribed, witnesses disappear. Politicians killed, but no one will steer. Guns, drones, tunnels and lies. Mexico's inaction is the price of lies. We've been diplomatic, but now it's clear we can't wait. America's safety's near. It's no longer a game of diplomacy. This isn't petty crime, it's eccentric strategy. Cartels run the show, they think they're untouchable, but Mexico's complacency is just talk with Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame. Oh, the cartels are an army, Mexico. You can't just sit by. Our sovereignty's at stake. We won't wait, we won't lie. America stands strong. We'll defend or we'll die. Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame. Mexico.
Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin from #GoRight. Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you #GoRight for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join.
Military and policy response. How Trump could legally use the military to stop the border crisis.
Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame.
Cartels control from the ground to the sky. Military grade weapons and the people die. Judges are bribed, witnesses disappear. Politicians killed, but no one will steer. Guns, drones, tunnels, and lies. Mexico's inaction is the price of lives. We've been diplomatic, but now it's clear we can't wait. America's safety is near.
It's no longer a game of diplomacy. This isn't petty crime, it's a symmetric strategy. Cartels run the show, they think they're untouchable, but Mexico's complacency is just as punishable. Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame.
The cartels are an army. Mexico, you can't just sit by. Our sovereignty's at stake. We won't wait, we won't lie. America stands strong. We'll defend or we'll die.
Mexico, Mexico, partner or threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame. Mexico, you've chosen your side, but we stand with America. We'll fight this tide. Our sovereignty's at risk, and we'll take a stand until the cartels fall. We'll reclaim this land.
Military and policy response. How Trump could legally use the military to stop the border crisis. The Heritage Foundation, one of the nation's most respected conservative think tanks, has developed a comprehensive blueprint for how the U.S. could use military resources to secure the southern border. While critics often claim that such actions are extreme, the plan is based on legal authority, historical precedent, and undeniable national security needs. The idea isn't about turning America into a militarized zone, but about addressing an existential threat to our country, much of which is being imported through our southern border. Let's look at how this plan entails and how Trump or any future president could legally activate military resources to restore order. Deploying military resources to build and reinforce border infrastructure. The U.S. military has vast experience in engineering projects, and its resources could be used to expedite the construction of border walls, fences, and surveillance infrastructure along the southern border. Historically, the military has been involved in major construction projects when national security is at stake, including the construction of airfields during World War II and high-security facilities like military bases. Why wait on Congress or delay funding when the military can use its expertise to quickly erect barriers and bolster border security technologies such as motion sensors, cameras, and drones? Increasing CBP and Border Patrol manpower. While the Border Patrol and Customs and Border Protection, CBP, are crucial in maintaining order, they have long been understaffed and under-resourced. The Heritage Foundation's plan recommends the use of military personnel to augment these forces, both in terms of boots on the ground and logistical support. Military personnel could provide border security in remote areas, assist in search and rescue missions and operations, and support CBP operations such as identifying, smuggling routes, and cartel movements. This support would not only increase manpower, but also free up CBP agents to focus on enforcement efforts. Using military transport and detention facilities to handle mass deportation. The sheer skill of migrants crossing the border and the logistical challenges they present are immense. The U.S. military possesses extensive transportation networks, helicopters, trucks, planes, that could be used to expedite the transportation of individuals detained at the border, helping to move them to processing facilities or holding areas. Moreover, the military has secure detention facilities that could house migrants awaiting deportation while they undergo proper legal procedures. This could allow CBP to focus on high-priority enforcement rather than the overwhelming burden of managing vast numbers of detainees. Targeting financial flows tied to cartel activity. The military's resources extend far beyond physical borders. With their extensive intelligence networks, military personnel can target cartel financial operations. This means shutting down money laundering networks, seizing assets, and disrupting the supply chains that fuel the cartel's ability to bribe officials, corrupt law enforcement, and maintain their operations. Military intelligence could be leveraged to track and intercept financial transactions linked to cartel activities, working hand in hand with agencies like the Treasury Department and FBI to dismantle the cartel's economic infrastructure, sanctioning corrupt Mexican officials who aid or turn a blind eye. In case where corruption has infiltrated the highest level of government, we've seen with multiple Mexican officials allegedly aiding or turning a blind eye to cartels, the U.S. government can impose sanctions. These sanctions would target the assets of Mexican officials known to work with the cartels or to turn a blind eye to the violence and trafficking crossing their borders. Military intelligence could also assist in identifying individuals and entities that directly or indirectly support the cartels, creating more robust diplomatic pressure on the Mexican government to take action. The last resort, unilateral military action. The Heritage Foundation makes it very clear. Military intervention should be the last resort. Diplomatic efforts should be exhausted first. Negotiations with Mexico should continue. And the U.S. should continue to offer assistance. But the plan leaves no doubt that if Mexico refuses to cooperate, the United States must be ready to act independently to defend its citizens. Here's some historical precedent. During the Mexican-American War from 1846 to 1848, the U.S. did not hesitate to cross into Mexican territory when national security was threatened. And in the 20th century, the U.S. military intervened in Haiti and the Dominican Republic to stabilize the regions and protect American interests. More recently, U.S. troops have engaged in operations in the Middle East and Africa, demonstrating that when national security is at stake, military action is not only justified, it's necessary. If Mexico is unwilling to or unable to manage the chaos occurring at its northern border, the U.S. must not hesitate to employ its military resources to secure the border and protect its citizens from a national security threat. If you'd like to read more into this article, the article is titled, "Is Mexico a Partner or a Threat to America?" And you can find that article on GoRightNews.com. Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
Mexico, Mexico,
ground to the sky, military grade weapons and the people die. Judges are bribed, witnesses disappear, politicians killed, but no one will steer. Guns, drones, tunnels and lies. Mexico's inaction is the price of lies. We've been diplomatic, but now it's clear we can't wait. America's safety's near. It's no longer a game of diplomacy. This isn't petty crime, this isn't trick strategy. Cartels run the show, they think they're untouchable, but Mexico's complacency is talk with
Mexico, Mexico, partner a threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame. Oh, the cartels are an army, Mexico. You can't just sit by our sovereignty's at stake. We won't wait, we won't lie. America stands strong, we'll defend or we'll die. Mexico, Mexico, partner a threat. We need answers, no more excuses, no more regret. Cartels run free while your leaders play games. It's time to act or we'll put you to shame. Mexico.
Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin from hashtag Go Right. Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you hashtag Go Right for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to hashtag Go Right for America. Join us at GoRightNews.com. It is time for the great American revival, and it is time to hashtag Go Right for America.
Drug epidemic and tunnel terror.
Labs in the jungle, tunnels in the dirt. Fentanyl kills from the inside out. While we debate, they tunnel under.
Cartels build labs in the city core, factories of death with the revolving door. Precursors shipped from overseas, they cook poison in the Mexican breeze. Meth so pure, it funds to fight drugs by day, weapons by night, warehouses and smuggler dens. The border blurs again and again.
Armored underground, they come fast, silent, lethal. Rail cars rolling, tunnels illegal. Booming bass, tunnel effect. They dig deep, we sleep blind. Through the border, what will they find? Deadly flow, silent breach. We fall back for they raise.
Border agents swamp waves, while tunnel rats carve deeper graves. 230 found and counting more. Ventilation shafts under warehouse floor. Drones fly low, packs get dropped. Every time they build, we flop out. Man down, spent out, pace in time. Who's watching the line? We drew in the grime.
Tunnel vibration, seismic sound. Rattling bass shakes the ground. Guitar solo tears through the static. War beneath us, systematic.
This isn't migration. This is invasion. A war fought in silence beneath your home. And while we process paperwork, they cross.
Cartels rise with global reach, tunnels twist just out of reach, while fentanyl flows and hope retracts, America bleeds, we must act!
A battlefield.
Drug epidemic and tunnel terror. Fentanyl labs industrialized in Mexico while tunnels explode across the border. The threat at our southern border is not just the volume of illegal drugs flooding into the United States. It's the staggering sophistication of the operation. Cartels have moved beyond traditional drug smuggling. They now control fentanyl and methamphetamine production on an industrial scale, with labs that are just hidden not only in remote jungles, but in urban centers, such as Hidalgo and Jalisco. I know I might be pronouncing those incorrectly, but these aren't small-time operations. They're talking about multi-million-dollar facilities, churning out substances that are as deadly as they are profitable. Mexico's cartels have perfected the art of synthetic drug production, using chemical precursors smuggled from China and India to manufacture fentanyl, a drug so powerful that just a few milligrams can kill an individual. Methamphetamine, too, is being produced with industrial precision, and the purity of the meth coming out of Mexican labs is making it an international commodity, with markets in places like Australia, Hong Kong, and even Europe. The trade isn't just happening at the street level. Mexican cartels are becoming global drug manufacturers, turning out drugs so pure and potent that they're wreaking havoc not just on American communities, but on the world stage. The methamphetamine trade alone is now responsible for millions of dollars in profits for cartels who use these drugs to finance further illicit operations, purchasing weapons, bribing officials, and expanding their territory. It's a highly profitable enterprise that continues to thrive in the face of federal and local law enforcement efforts. Meanwhile, as cartels operate these drug factories, they also are continuing to engage in a more insidious form of smuggling, underground tunnels. These tunnels stretching from Mexico to the United States have become one of the primary methods of transporting drugs, weapons, and people into America. Over the past 3 decades, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol Protection, CBP, has discovered more than 230 tunnels, and the problem is accelerating. These aren't your average holes in the ground. These tunnels are sophisticated, complete with lighting, ventilation systems, and even railways for moving large quantities of drugs. Some of these tunnels are as long as a football field, running deep beneath the border, and often leading to warehouses or houses in places like San Diego, California, and Nogales, Arizona. The carts and drones used to carry drugs through the tunnels make it incredibly difficult for border agents to keep up with the flow of illegal substances. The reality is the cartels are always one step ahead. While U.S. agencies have spent decades working to combat the flow of narcotics and stop the building of these tunnels, they have consistently been outgunned and outmanned. This is why the DHS's Illicit Cross-Border Tunnel Defense Act is so important. It would provide the necessary resources and legislation to shut down these tunnel operations before they can expand further. But without it, the cartels will continue to exploit the gaps in our border security and take full advantage of the lack of updated border defense technologies. The sheer scale of this operation is staggering, but even more alarming is the competing priorities of our border agents. Border Patrol agents are currently tasked with processing a record number of migrants, leaving less manpower to focus on the drug and human smuggling that's taking place. As agents are pulled off of field duty, the question arises, who is left to guard the gate? This is not just a law enforcement issue. It's a national security crisis. As drug cartels continue to expand their operations with industrial precision, and as illegal tunnels continue to pop up underneath our feet, the U.S. is facing an enemy that operates both above ground and below. The deadly substances flooding our streets are killing tens of thousands of Americans every year, while the tunnel systems facilitate the unabated movement of people, drugs, and weapons into the U.S. The stakes couldn't be higher, and if the United States continues to ignore this complex and dangerous reality, we're only setting ourselves up for more failure. We must stop pretending that the border crisis is simply a matter of immigration. It's an unprecedented attack on our country from all fronts, and it's time we act decisively to shut it down. If you'd like to learn more about this, you can go to the article, Is Mexico a Partner or a Threat to America? On GoRightNews.com. Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
Labs in the jungle, tunnels in the dirt. Fentanyl kills from the inside out. While we debate, they tunnel under.
Cartels build labs in the city core. Factories of death, a revolving door. Precursors shipped from overseas. They cook poison in the Mexican breeze. Meth so pure it funds the fight. Drugs by day, weapons by night. Warehouses and smuggler dens. The border blurs again and again. Underground they come fast, silent, lethal.
They dig deep, we sleep blind. Through the border, what will they find? Deadly flow, silent breach. We fall back while they reach.
Border agents swamp with waves, while tunnel rats carve deeper graves. 230 found and counting more. Ventilation shafts under warehouse floor. Drones fly low, packs get dropped. Every time they build, we flop out, minute out, span out, pace to time. Who's watching the line? We drew in the grime.
Tunnel vibration, seismic sound. Rattling bass shakes the ground. Guitar solo tears through the static. War beneath the systematic.
This isn't migration. This is an invasion. A war fought in silence, beneath your home. And while we process paperwork, they cross.
Cartels rise with global reach. Tunnels twist just out of reach. While fentanyl flows and hope retracts. America bleeds, we must act.
Industrial labs, underground railways. This isn't a border, it's a battlefield.
Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin from #GoRight. Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you hashtag go right for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to hashtag Go Right for America. Join us at GoRightNews.com. It is time for the Great American Revival, and it is time to hashtag Go Right for America.
American lives at stake. Fentanyl is the leading killer of young Americans.
Lives, one drug, dreams drowned in cartel blood. They make it look like meds we trust. One dose down and lungs combust. From China's labs to Mexico's gate, it's poison packed in freedom hate. They push it here with silent skill, and our own leaders let it kill. Betrayal at the borderline. Cartel terror wrapped in a pill's design. This ain't drugs, it's death parade. Disguised as help, but made to invade. And what did Biden do? Nothing but deflect. While children die and families wreck. Trump called it war, the left just laughed. Now graves are dug for the aftermath.
This isn't xenophobia, it's accountability. If a foreign cartel is the #1 killer of our youth, then doing nothing is treason.
No more silence, no delay. We fight back, we clear the way. From border lines to hometown streets, we stand for those who can't speak.
You let 70,000 die. That's not negligence. That's betrayal.
American lives are at stake.
American lives at stake. Fentanyl is the leading killer of young Americans. Fentanyl is officially taken over as the leading killer of Americans aged 18 to 45, surpassing COVID-19, cancer, car accidents, and even suicide. This isn't just a statistical anomaly. This is a national crisis. If that doesn't scream national emergency, what does? Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that is 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine, is responsible for over 70,000 deaths annually. Most of these deaths are from overdoses, with the majority of fentanyl flooding into the U.S. coming directly from Mexican cartels. They're manufacturing fentanyl in labs throughout Mexico, often using chemicals smuggled in from countries like China and India. And these substances are being sold across the U.S., many times disguised as other, less potent drugs. The magnitude of this problem is staggering. Not only are young Americans dying, but they are dying from poison that was deliberately trafficked into our country by organizations that have no respect for human life. Cartels are selling drugs that look like prescription pills, creating a perfect storm for accidental dosages and overdoses that are wiping out entire generations. Here's an opinion. It is criminal negligence for the federal government or any government to allow a foreign cartel to be the leading cause of death among our young adults. This is not just bad policy, it's betrayal. The lives lost to fentanyl are young dreams snuffed out too soon, and that blood is on the hands of those who refuse to act. Think about this. Every year, 70,000 young lives are lost to fentanyl poisoning. This is a generational crisis that is ripping families apart. Parents are burying their children before they even have a chance to grow. Siblings are grieving their brothers and sisters, and communities are devastated by the fentanyl epidemic. And what is our response from Washington been under former President Biden? Silence. Or worse, indifference. Yet when former and now current President again, Donald Trump, proposed sending U.S. troops to help Mexico combat the cartels or call for cartels to be treated as terrorist organizations, the left-wing establishment mocked him. They labeled his solutions as xenophobic, as extreme, as unrealistic. What's truly extreme is letting 70,000 Americans die every year while politicians squabble over borders and political correctness. The reality is simple. The cartels are terrorizing our country, and their weapons are lethal drugs that are flooding our streets. Instead of treating this as a national emergency, many politicians, especially on the left, refuse to acknowledge the direct threat posed by Mexican drug cartels. They focus on open borders, sanctuary policies, and defunding law enforcement, completely ignoring the devastation being wrought by fentanyl. What could be more extreme than ignoring the reality of this crisis and allowing foreign criminals to kill tens of thousands of Americans every year? The bottom line is this. We have the power to stop this. We have the resources to take action. We just need the will to do it. This isn't about xenophobia. This is about saving lives. It's about ensuring that our young people, the future of our country, are not lost to the poison of foreign cartels. It's about making sure American families don't have to endure the unimaginable pain of losing a child to a drug that has never crossed our border in the first place. The time to act is now, because when politicians argue, fentanyl continues to claim lives, and if we don't stop it, it will continue to take more. You can find out more about this on the article, Is Mexico a Partner or a Threat to America? On GoRightNews.com. Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
We can't ignore, we can't pretend. These young lives lost will never mend. Fentanyl flows while DC sleeps. Families fall and the nation weeps. Betrayal at the
This isn't xenophobia, it's accountability. If a foreign cartel is the #1 killer of our youth, then doing nothing is treason.
No more silence, no delay. We fight back, we clear the way. From borderlines to hometown streets, we stand for those who can't speak.
You let 70,000 die. That's not negligence. That's betrayal.
American lives are at stake. We can't ignore, we can't pretend. These young lives lost will never mend. Fentanyl flows while DC sleeps. Families fall and the nation weeps.
Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you hashtag go right for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to hashtag Go Right for America. Join us at GoRightNews.com. It is time for the Great American Revival, and it is time to hashtag Go Right for America.
Presidential handling of the border crisis from Reagan to Donald Trump.
Reagan gave amnesty but lost the wall. Bush talked trade while the cartels called. Clinton fenced up but cartel debt spread, while NAFTA built tunnels and bloodlines bled. George W. formed DHS but missed the mark with cartel threats. Obama preached hope but enforced with fear, and DICA made the line disappear.
with strength. Borderlines carved by blood and fight. Is it weakness now, or will we unite? From Reagan's wave to Trump's defense, the wall holds truth when the line makes sense.
Biden broke the chain, undid the whole catch and release, made the gates unfold. Caravans move like tides in spring, cartels cashing in on every. Trump came back, steel met stone, wall rose up, sovereign grown, military boots on sovereign ground. When Mexico said no, Trump stood sound.
Is Mexico a partner or a threat? Baseball's mirror, sonar radar.
Every president left a footprint on the border. Some stood firm, some surrendered, but now the storm's at the gate.
No more catch, no more delay. Troops stand tall, this is Judgment Day. From Reagan's pen to Trump's wall, the weak have fallen, we must stand tall.
Mexico Mexico says it's a friend, while cartels bury our youth. We ask nicely now, we act firmly. From Reagan to Trump, the truth is steel.
Presidential handling of the border crisis from Reagan to Donald Trump. Ronald Reagan from 1981 to 1989. Reagan's tenure marked a critical turning point in immigration policy. With the passage of the 1986 Immigration Reform and Control Act, ICE-RCA, the legislation granted amnesty to nearly 3 million illegal immigrants in exchange for promises of increased border security. While the amnesty provision was intended to address the issue of undocumented immigrants already residing in the U.S., it ultimately created a perverse incentive for more people to enter the country illegal, believing that similar amnesty would eventually be granted in the future. Unfortunately, the border enforcement promises tied to the amnesty were never fully realized. Reagan's emphasis on a compassionate, enforcement-light approach paved the way for increased illegal immigration. As a subsequent failure to tighten border control sent a message that illegal entry could be forgiven. This policy, intended to be a one-time fix, set a dangerous precedent, leading to a larger wave of illegal immigration over the following decades. And don't get me wrong, Ronald Reagan was a great president. Let's move on to George H.W. Bush from 1989 to 1993. Bush largely continued Reagan's approach, albeit with more focus on diplomatic negotiations than direct border security enhancements. While he did increase border enforcement modestly, much of his focus during his presidency was on issues like the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, which deeply intertwined the U.S., Mexico, and Canada economically. His administration viewed trade as a primary issue, often sidelining the growing concerns over illegal immigration and the burgeoning drug cartels that were beginning to have a profound impact on both nations. Through Bush's presidency, we saw a rise in drug-related violence from cartels, particularly in Mexico. His border policy was less aggressive, and his administration failed to anticipate or adequately respond to the criminal threats posed by organized crime groups. There is little progress on securing the border, and the relationship with Mexico remained largely centered on trade, not security. Moving to Bill Clinton from 1993 to 2001. Clinton surprised many with a tougher stance on border enforcement, especially with his launch of Operation Gatekeeper in 1994. The operation sought to increase Border Patrol presence and deploy physical barriers like fencing along key areas of the U.S.-Mexico border, especially near San Diego. His policies led to a significant increase in deportations during his presidency, focusing primarily on border apprehensions and the removal of individuals illegally crossing the border. However, Bill Clinton's administration failed to adequately address the escalating drug cartel violence in Mexico, which was beginning to spill over into the U.S. The fentanyl epidemic had not yet taken root, but cartels were already establishing drug trafficking networks that would later prove deadly. Additionally, Clinton's push for a more aggressive border enforcement policy was often seen as inconsistent, given his later support for amnesty and immigration reform that contradicted some of his earlier efforts. Moving on to George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009. George W. Bush's presidency marked a pivotal moment in border security, especially after the 9/11 terrorist attacks in 2001, which transformed border control into a national security issue. To respond to growing security concerns, Bush established the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, in 2003, consolidating multiple agencies, including Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, CBP, to tackle both illegal immigration and threats to national security. Bush also pushed for an expansion of border infrastructure, technological surveillance, and smart fencing along key areas of the border. However, his presidency is remembered for his failed attempt at comprehensive immigration reform, which sought to grant amnesty to millions of undocumented immigrants while increasing border enforcement. The plan was met with fierce opposition from conservatives, leading to its collapse in Congress. Additionally, despite his strong border security initiatives, Bush's refusal to designate cartels as foreign terrorist organizations was seen as a missed opportunity to directly target the cartel networks that were infiltrating the U.S. with drugs and violence. Barack Obama from 2009 to 2017. Obama's approach to immigration was a blend of tough rhetoric and soft policies. Initially, Obama presented himself as a defender of border enforcement, but his presidency quickly became defined by his failure to act decisively on the border crisis. In the first few years of his term, Obama was criticized for failing to address the growing number of illegal crossings, particularly as the drug cartel's influence expanded. His Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) program in 2012 focused on providing a path to legalization for undocumented minors. Yet it was often seen as a short-term fix that only complicated border issues further. Obama's administration saw a massive surge in migrant caravans, particularly from Central America, many of whom were seeking asylum. However, the Obama administration's focus on humane immigration policies allowed cartel activities to thrive without significant intervention. As fentanyl trafficking surged, Obama failed to adequately respond to the growing cartel violence and the increase in drug overdoses that followed. Despite a record number of deportations, the continued growth of the cartel controlling drug trade and migrant caravans marked a deepening crisis that Obama's policies did little to address. Donald Trump from 2017 to 2021. President Trump treated the border crisis as a national emergency during his first term and implemented aggressive measures aimed at stopping the uncontrolled flow of migrants and drugs across the southern border. One of his key actions was the implementation of the Remain in Mexico policy, requiring asylum seekers to wait in Mexico until their claims were adjudicated, significantly reducing the number of asylum seekers entering the U.S. He also ended the catch and release program, ensuring that illegal immigrants were held in detention until their cases were processed. Trump pushed forward with construction of the border wall, completing over 450 miles of new and replacement fencing during his first term. He targeted sanctuary cities by attempting to withhold federal funds and advocated for labeling cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, seeking the authority to use military power against them. During his first term, illegal border crossings declined, and his administration reported decreases in drug trafficking and cartel activity. However, his policies were met with strong opposition from the political left and advocacy groups who criticized them as inhumane. Joe Biden from 2021 to January 2025. President Joe Biden took a significantly softer approach to the border crisis compared to his predecessor, Donald Trump. Upon taking office in 2021, he immediately reversed many Trump-era policies, halting construction of the border wall, ending the Remain in Mexico policy, and reinstating catch and release. ICE was directed to scale back enforcement, focusing only on the most severe offenders. These moves coincided with a massive surge in illegal immigration, overwhelming border patrol, and straining public services in border and sanctuary cities. Record numbers of border crossings occurred under Biden's watch, along with a spike in fentanyl trafficking and cartel activity. Critics accused his administration of sending mixed signals to would-be immigrants, effectively inviting illegal entry. Facing political backlash, even from Democratic-led cities, Biden attempted to reassert some control by working with Mexico and Central American countries to manage migrant flows and increasing the use of expedited removal. However, many saw these efforts as too little, too late. By the end of his term in January 2025, Biden's border policies became a major liability, contributing to his electoral defeat. His administration is remembered by many for losing control of the southern border and enabling a humanitarian and security crisis. And moving on to Donald Trump again in 2025 until present. After being reelected and returning to office in 2025, President Donald Trump wasted no time reinstating key elements of his original border security strategy. Construction on the wall has resumed, and the Remain in Mexico policy is once again in force. Trump has also taken steps to deploy the military at the border to combat cartel influence and the ongoing fentanyl crisis. And his administration is prioritizing national security, immigration enforcement, and restoring strict border controls, arguing that the Biden era left the nation vulnerable. If you'd like to learn more about this, you can go to the article at Go Right News titled, "Is Mexico a Partner or a Threat to America?" Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
Less compassion to collapse. We held the door too long. Infused intolerance, the war wasn't hate, it was strength. Borderlines carved by blood and fight. Is it weakness now, or will we unite? From Reagan's wave to Trump's defense, the wall holds truth when the line makes sense.
Biden broke the chain, undid the hold. Catch and release, made the gates unfold. Caravans move like tides of spring. Cartels cashing in on everything. Trump came back, steel met stone. Wall rose up, sovereignty grown. Military boots on sovereign ground. When Mexico said no, Trump stood sound.
Borderlines carved by blood and fight. Is it weakness now, or will we unite? From Reagan's wave to Trump's defense, the wall holds truth when the line makes sense.
It's charged.
This is colored by the night. All damn his through the water light. This is my partner's beer the night. This is the polar beer the light. Need his wife on my back for the church to ride. Yellow depths in the back door, shoes supplied. I'm in red to the sub, love like the ride. Can't wait, drag when they got the tide.
No more catch, no more delay. Troops stand tall, this is Judgment Day.
Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin from hashtag Go Right. Let me break some things down. The future is up to you, and what are you willing to put into it? So will you hashtag Go Right for America? Will you participate in the great American revival? Because together we can and will make America great again. But it's up to you. It is up to you. It's time to join the Go Right movement. It is time to hashtag Go Right for America. Join us at GoRightNews.com. It is time for the great American revival, and it is time to hashtag Go Right for America.
Hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin commentary. If Mexico won't handle the cartels, America must.
America must America
Romanticized lights, tequila haze, while fentanyl rains on our highways. Mexico shrugs as our children fall, and DC debates behind marble walls. Cartels crawl through tunnels deep. Drones fly low while agents sleep. We tried the peace, we tried the plan. Now it's time for the heavy hand. We ask nicely, now we act. This is not migration, this is attack. Mexico won't, America must. Stand like steel and earn back trust. Borders mean nothing if left unsealed. Time for force, not just appeal. Reagan gave amnesty, Biden gave shame. Trump brought thunder, cartel names. Now they're terrorist masters, gangs. Poison deals with chemical fangs. This ain't just drugs, it's a slow kill. Genocide by cartel will. We beg, we warn, we send aid, but Mexico just lets death invade. Secure the line, or we lose the fight. This isn't left or right, it's wrong or right. Trump was right, the threat is real. Time to march, time to seal.
Hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin commentary. If Mexico won't handle the cartels, America must. Cinco de Mayo or Mayo, whatever you want to call it, is over. And while it might be cute to indulge in tacos, margaritas, and a romanticized version of Mexican culture for a day, we must not be distracted from the real and present danger we face at our southern border. This isn't about culture. This is about a full-scale alien invasion, and no, it's not from outer space. It's from Mexico, and it's happening every single day. Let's be real. If your neighbor broke into your house repeatedly, stole your possessions, brought in dangerous criminals, and threatened your family's safety, you'd call that a home invasion. So what do we call it when thousands of people illegally cross into our nation with the blessing, or at least the apathy, of our own government? We must stop pretending this is a humanitarian crisis and start calling it what it is, a national security threat. The cartels in Mexico are not just gangs, they are terrorists. They traffic in drugs, weapons, and human lives. They operate with impunity, with the Mexican government either unwilling or unable to stop them. In fact, Mexico's leadership often enables the caravans of illegal migrants to pass through their territory unchallenged, bound for our border. Meanwhile, they are of the audacity to criticize us for defending our own country. Donald Trump was right to propose sending troops to neutralize the cartels. He understood that border security is national security. Mexican officials claimed that they would never accept U.S. troops on their soil, but why should we care? We've asked nicely. We've tried to work with them. But when diplomacy fails, action must follow. The cartels are responsible for poisoning our streets with fentanyl, destabilizing our communities, and endangering American lives. We are not at war with Mexico, but we are under attack by forces operating within its borders. And if their government refuses to stop them, then it is our moral and constitutional duty to protect our citizens by taking the fight to the source. It's time we stop playing defense and start protecting our homeland. America cannot remain a sovereign nation if we do not control our borders. If Mexico continues to harbor and ignore the terror within its borders, then the United States must act militarily if necessary. Not out of hatred, but out of love for our country and duty to our people. If Reagan gave amnesty and Biden gives chaos, Trump gave results. The invasion is real. The threat is real. It's time for real leadership again. America needs a president who will defend our sovereignty, confront the cartels, and secure our borders, not just with words, but with action. If you'd like to learn more about this, you can go to #GoRight, and you can go to Go Right News and look up the article, Is Mexico a Partner or a Threat to America? The true Go Right perspective. Let's get something straight. Go Right News is not about spinning partisan nonsense. We don't exist to blindly cheer for red or blue. We exist to uphold the principles of our constitutional republic and to ask the questions few others will. We advocate for liberty, for sovereignty, for the truth. Sometimes that means calling out the left. Sometimes that means questioning the right. We're not afraid to play devil's advocate if it means defending the Constitution. But we will not ignore an invasion at our border while politicians play diplomatic footsie with cartels. And we will not remain silent while Americans die and Mexico shrugs. To those who refuse to read before commenting, stop pretending to care. Start informing yourself. The Constitution does not defend ignorance. It demands vigilance. Now let's go over the #GoRight remix for the article, Is Mexico a Partner or a Threat to America? So what have we learned? Mexico refuses real help while cartels turn their land into a terror base. Fentanyl is now the top killer of young Americans thanks to cartel control. Tunnels, drones, and industrial drug labs threaten national security. Trump has the legal and historic power to use the military to defend our border. We cannot wait on diplomacy when lives are being lost daily. We need bold action, not just walls, not just words, real enforcement, real consequences, real sovereignty. It's time to hashtag go right, not just in politics, but in life. Do right, think right, be right, vote right. Join us at gorightnews.com to check out this article for more deep dives and the truth behind the headlines. Catch us on rumble.com, kick.com, Spreaker, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, Gab, Truth Social, TikTok, Facebook, X, Twitter, and everywhere you consume real news. Support the movement and help us stay loud by donating at Cash App at the $ GoRightNews. Find all links at gorightnews.com and peterboykin.com, gorightnews.nc, and let's build a future rooted in liberty, not lawlessness. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, we fight because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.